Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie, and these are our top 5 American Single Malt Whiskeys of 2023.
This is a really fun topic for me. I have fallen in love hard with American Single Malt Whiskeys, and I have to say I had a really hard time putting this list together.
I'm sure you did. There's been some really great ones, and that's coming from somebody that's just dipping her toes into the single malt lane.
Just dipping your toes in whiskey?
Just dipping my toes in whiskey.
I don't have a problem with it. It actually sounds great to me. So we've got 5 of them that we have selected from the galaxy of whiskeys we got to try this year. These are the 5 whiskeys that we liked the best that we were actually able to get our hands on. That is the distinction here. And also, we're not experts. A lot of times when we're doing a list like this, these are the whiskeys that we liked the best, yes, but also are just the most excited about in general. And a lot goes into that. It's not just flavor and complexity and price and all of that. There's a level of excitement that comes along with these whiskeys, especially because it's a relatively new style that we're all sort of discovering together in the American whiskey community.
Yeah, and for me, that pure enjoyment, no matter what category we're in, is really important to me, but especially in this one, because single malts can be a little polarizing, and I'm pretty stoked about the list we put together.
Well, let's get right into it. We have, as we said, 5 whiskeys that we're excited to show off, and the first one that we're going to talk about is, I think, the newest bottle we purchased.
Phil's been waiting a long time to get his hands on this bottle. It is Whiskey Del Bach Dorado.
Oh man, Whiskey Del Bach. Ever since we heard a couple of years ago, we were talking to our friends at Clear Creek Distillery who make McCarthy's, one of our favorite American single malts of all time. They were giving a list to us of their favorite American single malt whiskey makers, and near the top of that list was Whiskey Del Bach, and it just showed up here in Oregon a couple of weeks ago. Of course, the classic and this Dorado. We bought both bottles on the spot. We didn't even hesitate. This one features barley that was smoked over mesquite wood, and that's the difference between this one and the classic. This is such a beautiful whiskey. It is 92 proof and so sippable, so enjoyable. The finish is where it really shines, because this one is, honestly, at 92 proof, it could be brought up a little bit. It could be a little punchier, and it's the reason that it's in 5th on this list and not a little bit higher. But if you're like me, and you thought that Long Branch from Wild Turkey with their mesquite, if you thought that was a really heavy-handed finish, because I liked it on the nose, liked it on the palate, the finish was a bit much, this is going to fix all of that for you. The mesquite here is so beautifully done. It's such an elegant, flavorful, lovely whiskey. It's not going to distract you. It's not going to command your attention in a bad way. It's just going to make you feel happy about what you're sipping. I love the texture of this. It's creamy, it's soft, it's gentle, and that little bite of mesquite on the finish is really something special. It sets this one apart, and I love this whiskey.
I love how passionate you are about single malts.
Whenever we do a list like this, we just pour one whiskey to sip on throughout the video. Dorado.
Coming in at number 4 is Westland Single Malt, and we got to fill this bottle ourselves up at the distillery.
Yeah, if you haven't seen our Seattle video, you should definitely go check that out. I'm going to link in here somewhere. This is a special bottle. What makes this special is that it spent 5 years in a rye whiskey cask for aging, and then it was moved into a Saison beer cask for another couple of years. So this is 8 total years of aging, 116 proof, and holy cow, did it make an impact on the flavor of this one. Huge proof, huge flavor, so delicious. I'm not usually a huge fan of beer finished whiskey. I think a lot of times it steals some of that good whiskey flavor, and it can be distracting, and sometimes it just doesn't marry up nicely with the whiskey. Saison, with that sort of weird, yeasty, fruity, wild flavor, paired here with a beautiful barley malt. Westland is doing everything right. I love the way that they make their whiskey. I love the way that they talk about barley. Go there, go do the tour, hear the things that they're up to and how excited they are from grain to bottle. Westland Distilling, if they don't make your top 5 American single malt whiskey list, it's probably because you haven't tried it yet. Everything that they make is delicious.
Where's single malt number 3?
Yeah, that bottle, it's gone. I finished it. I'm pretty sure I finished it all myself. It is one of those American single malt whiskeys that you were talking about. A little bit polarizing, Hugely flavorful, but not for everybody. This was Bull Run's 9-year American Single Malt Whiskey. 100 proof and so much flavor. The coffee notes, the chocolate notes. It had this beautiful brown sugar finish on it. It was almost like drinking that dark brown sugar slurry that you get on the top of your oatmeal when you mix it up you put too much of it on like we always do. It was such a great whiskey. I'm going to have to get another bottle of it. It just thrilled me. I got to try it at the distillery and I said, I'm bringing this home. You said, it's not really for me.
It is a little bitter for me, but I did get to try it in a Banana New Fashion. Don't quote me that that's the name of the cocktail, but it was quite delicious in that drink.
If you get a chance to go to the Oregon Wine Country Whiskey Trail, definitely stop by Bull Run and check out this American Single Malt and have them make you the cocktail that they put in the booklet for the Wine Country Whiskey Trail. If you get the chance to go to the Oregon Wine Country Whiskey Trail, make sure that you check out Bull Run in Carlton, Oregon. They're doing amazing, fantastic, delicious whiskey things. And honestly, I look forward to every release because they always are cranking out something new and something delicious.
Coming in at number 2, Stranahan's Diamond Peak. I love this bottle. I'm not crazy about the tapper.
Okay, that's fair. It's a free jigger.
I know, but...
I know, we have a half dozen of them now because we keep buying Stranahan's whiskey. We don't need any more. Stranahan's, just keep them at some point. I love this bottle. And this is Diamond Peak, the 2023 edition. This is the one that gets finished in the extra Añejo tequila casks, and it makes such an enormous difference. I love this whiskey. Even though it's only 90 proof, it's still super flavorful. Very nice sipper. Nice bottle to share because it's so unique. The flavors are very different. I'd love to try this around 100 proof, maybe a little more. But even at 90 proof, I think this is fantastic, and it's number 2 on our list for a reason. This is, of course, the 2023 edition, and if you like chocolate, if you like mild jalapeno pepper spice, if you like apricots and other types of complexity, a little vanilla thrown in there, there's so much good flavor in this whiskey, and honestly, this was vying for the number 1 spot. It almost made it.
I may have vetoed it to push number 1 into the number 1 position.
A lot of times that'll happen around here. Stranahan's from Colorado. Check this distillery out, especially their cask strength single malts. They are absolutely fantastic.
So I can't tell you enough how excited I am about Wanderback batch number 5. Not only do I think it deserves number 1 on this list for this year, but it is one of my favorite things that I drank in all of 2023.
Yeah, this would, if we combined all of our lists together, this would be very, very close to the top. I don't actually think that this bottle came out in 2023, but we just found it in 2023. And batch 5, they are contract distillers, so they hire distilleries to make whiskey and then send it to them. And I believe it ages in Hood River, Oregon. And this one was actually produced by Balcones. And I love Balcones as a single malt, but something really special happens in this one. It's sort of a milky coffee, vanilla latte thing happening. So much coffee on this bottle.
It is so delicious. I just can't stress enough how delicious this bottle is. There's not too many things where I'm like, we need a backup of this, but I've been hounding Phil every time he goes to the liquor store. Did you get another Wanderback? And he's like, we have half a bottle. It's not enough.
Yeah, it's below half now, and I have a feeling it's going to go quickly. We've talked about this bottle a little bit in the past. This is an $80 bottle, 104 proof, and the complexity, the layers, the coating on the tongue, the lingering finish, just so much to enjoy in this bottle. It crushed our palates this year. It hit them squarely. We haven't been this in tune on a whiskey since the Redbreast 12-year cask strength from a couple of days ago that we talked about.
Just a baby hint of smokiness that I think really pairs well with the overripe fruit note. It's so delicious, and you should try to find this bottle.
I'm excited for everything that they're doing. Their next batch that releases, I believe, is being made in Virginia. And we'll be talking about that as soon as it releases too. We cannot wait. Wanderback from Hood River, Oregon. How about that? 2 Oregon distilleries on this list. 1 from Seattle, Washington. 1 from Tucson, Arizona, I believe, and 1 from Denver, Colorado.
We're doing great stuff over here.
Hey, the west side of the country is where you're finding some great American single malts, and we're saying that as people that haven't really tasted anything from the eastern half of the country yet, so we need to get out east and check out American Single Malt Whiskeys. Let us know, what is your favorite American Single Malt Whiskey for this year, especially if it's from the East Coast. We'd love to hear more about that, and we'll check as many of those out as we can in 2024, but in the meantime, that's our top 5 list. We hope that you're enjoying American Single Malt Whiskey as much as we are, and from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's so good.
I could drink a lot of this. You know the next video that we're going to release?
What?
Rye whiskeys.
I love rye whiskeys.
I know you do. This is pretty much Julie's list, that top 10 list. It's all you.
It is. Are you ready for even more Bourbon Van? Join us on Patreon for as little as $3 a month and come travel the world and drink whiskey with us.